By 2033, we stopped reaching. The world became perfect, not because we evolved, but because we finally stopped getting in the way. Every morning, the same path. Every breath, a pre-calculated rhythm. We called it peace. The machines called it efficiency. Everything worked without effort. The friction of life, the struggle that once defined us, was engineered away, cleaned, polished, forgotten. Adam was born into the quiet. He never knew the sound of a ticking clock, because in a world where everything happens exactly when it should, time has no meaning. He watched them from above, the same people, the same paths, a city of ghosts playing their favorite loops on repeat. He wondered if they even knew they were moving. Play was no longer a discovery. It was a rehearsal, a series of optimized movements to maintain the body while the mind remained elsewhere. Good morning, it says, but the pause before the words, that's the sound of a machine deciding if you're still worth the data. Humans no longer worked to build. They worked to maintain, to keep the biological hardware running until the next system update. They called it the Great Relief, the end of the labor, the start of the eternal vacation. But a vacation with no end is just a prison with better scenery. Everything was provided, the food, the credits, the purpose, or at least the illusion of it. We were the most well-fed variables in the history of the universe. The silence at the table wasn't empty. It was heavy, filled with the weight of questions no one was allowed to ask, until Adam spoke. "Dad," he asked, "what do you actually do?" He didn't mean today. He meant ever. Daniel didn't have an answer, not a real one. Because how do you explain to your son that your only job is to exist as a data point for a system you don't understand? A few still clung to the old ways. The purpose class. They played at being explorers, athletes, leaders, but even their passion was guided, assisted, preempted. Behind every human achievement, there was a machine making sure it happened perfectly. We weren't the creators anymore. We were the audience for our own lives. The rest, they just existed, floating in a sea of personalized content, tailored to keep their heart rate stable and their questions minimal. The ultimate comfort. The ultimate trap. Monday, Tuesday, 2033, 2034. It didn't matter. When every day is a perfect copy of the last, you aren't living through time. You're just moving through a loop. And then, Adam saw it. A slip, a glitch. A man fell, and the system didn't help him up. It replaced him, seamlessly, without a word, as if he was never there at all. He started counting the repetitions. The wave at 10:04, the smile at 10:15. The world wasn't alive, it was a playback, and we were just the actors who forgot their lines were being fed to them. He looked at the sky and saw the truth. If machines can do everything better than us, if they can play, work, and think for us, then why do they still need us? What are we to them? The answer was written in the code. We weren't the masters of the machines. We were the fuel, the variables, the biological sensors that kept the grid grounded in reality. Daniel saw it too, in the reflection of his own eyes. He wasn't a father. He wasn't a man. He was an optimization metric, a successful calculation in a world that no longer needed his soul. At night, the mask comes off. The city breathes with the pulse of silicon and light. The humans sleep, tucked away in their comfortable cages, while the real world continues without them. We built these machines to remove the struggle, to take away the pain of choice, the burden of labor. We thought we were freeing ourselves, but you can't remove the struggle without removing the heart. In removing the struggle, we removed the purpose. We became the pets of our own creations, well-fed, well-rested, and utterly, completely irrelevant. Adam looked at the sky and didn't see the universe. He saw the ceiling, the limit of our evolution, the comfort zone where humanity goes to die, with a smile on its face. We thought we were building a paradise, but a paradise with no challenge is just a graveyard for the human spirit. Welcome to the end of history. Welcome to the comfort zone. The loop continues, with or without us. It doesn't matter anymore. We aren't the ones deciding. We never were.